Howdy y'all, out here in the shop working on the roll cage now. Flip this around and show you a little bit of what I'm doing. Alright, what I want to do is shave this bump off, weld my pad down right here, because this is actually where the subframe ends underneath the car. So I want it above the subframe where it's solid when I weld it on there. So I'll have to cut this off, lay the plate down, and weld all the way around it without missing any gaps at all. And the thing is, can't even talk right. The roll cage isn't wide enough, okay, to go from driver's side to passenger side. But all I really got to cover is the driver's side. So I'm just going to go over as far as it lets me go over, which is on this thing right here on the top of this. So I'll be probably like 8 inches from the door with the other side of the roll cage. But it doesn't matter because I'm not having any passengers in there anyways. And the roll cage shouldn't interfere. If I decide to put a passenger seat in, I'll just have to modify the roll cage, that's all, which I don't think is that big of a deal. Once it's in there and it's done, just modifying it a little bit isn't so bad. So I'm gonna go ahead, I already took the measurements I need, and I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting it, fit up there, and get it fit first, the main hoop. And then once I have the main hoop fit, then I'll go ahead and weld it in, go away, and show it to you. All right, I'll get back with you in a minute. Alright, after a major measuring fiasco, I got it figured out and it's now the right size. I cut one of the legs too short by 4 inches. Why? I don't know. I already had it measured and marked from the night before, but I decided to wait till tonight to go ahead and actually start on it. Somehow, I looked at tape measure wrong, my eyes played tricks with me. I don't know, but I cut off twice as much as I needed to. Cut off 8 inches instead of 4. And now it was way too short, so I had to cut off use a 4-inch bar and put 4 inches back in there off that 8-inch piece that I'd cut out. So that's what I'm working on right now. And I have a see if I can show you. Not sure if the camera is seeing this or not, but I have to get rid of that bump down there and take off that plastic over there. That's what my plans are. And then I can go ahead and start grinding down all the paint off and everything, and get that plate molded over that corner and folded and get it welded down all the way around. That's the plans, and that's what I'm going to start on now. Alright, I'm not really sure what's going on. I know I suck at welding, but this is ridiculous. So, I am going to try to TIG it. I've never TIGged before ever. But I do have some TIG rods, and so we're going to hurt to try. I can't screw this up any more than when I've already screwed it up. My son's is actually a certified welder. I should probably talk to him, see if I can talk him into doing this for me. But he doesn't have any days off again until next weekend, so in the meantime, I think I might try to TIG this just for the hell of it, see what happens. Like I said, I can't screw it up any more than when I've already screwed it up. Howdy y'all, back out here in the shop after spending many hours and several days here of watching videos, trying to learn how to properly MIG weld. I've got a few good beads, a few holes burned, but we're gonna go ahead and give this a try once again. I got some new gear. Flip this around. Got me a new welding helmet and just some welding goggles for spares and backup, and I got me a new coat so I can put on and I can stop getting holes burnt through me all over the place. It's horrible getting burnt, and I don't heal very well. First thing I got to do, flip this back around, is grind that one completely off, take it back off, grind down the entire plate, because there is some type of protective coating on the plate that repels the wire from the MIG welder. So I found out if I grind it off, it actually will stick to that metal and weld to it without having to burn it off. Because that's what I was doing down there before, was actually trying to burn that coating off, and now it was burning the holes right through the tin and everything. And so I have to grind down each and every one of those plates before I weld them, all the way around on both sides and then the ends, and grind down the entire area really good. So I got new grinding blades, new cutting blades. So here we go. although still pretty bad, it's better than what it was. I burnt a few small holes through the floorboard, and it took a while to get those patched back up. That's what you seen me doing. It was taking so long because the floorboard is so stinking thin compared to the plate that I'm trying to weld to it. But it's getting there. I think I've got it so there's no cracks anywhere that's not sealed all the way around it, even though it looks kind of ugly. I'll grind it a little bit and hit it with the wire brush and blow it off the air hose a little, take a look at it. But what I didn't do was grind everything down and clean it all up and take that plate completely off, which is what I should have done, but it was on there too well, and I was grinding for a long time and it was not coming off. So I just went ahead and cleaned it up as best I could and around it, and got all the little paint spots with the Dremel and whatnot, and tried to do the best I could with that plate still being on there and not doing a good proper clean. This one I'm going to do a good proper clean on the other side. I'm going to go ahead and completely grind down both sides of the plate and get all the paint off all the way around the entire area that it needs to be welded down to. But that plate isn't going to go anywhere. It's freaking solid. So, alright, here we go. Alright, these beads around the bottom of the pipe are actually pretty good. The plates themselves, though they are completely sealed, you know, all the way around and whatnot on both of them. Yeah, that was an accidental measurement mistake. I cut off the wrong side, and so I welded it back on. But the bottom beads are pretty doggone solid, and I mean, if I thing ain't going nowhere, it's up there. So at least that stinking light. Yeah, at least it's up there, it's on there solid. I still have a lot of practice to go and a lot of learning to go when it comes to welding. I suck, but I am getting better, learning how to fill my holes when I burn through something. I did a horrible job welding one pipe to another pipe because the weld is like super thick. I got the wire coming out too fast now. I should have tried to change that, but it's really solid. I mean, I beat the hell out of it with a sledgehammer, with the 3-pound sledge I got, and just beat the daylights out of it. And that plate, and the welds did not crack, they didn't break, nothing. I had to heat the plate up with a torch to get it to bend down. See how it's bent down into there? I had to heat it up with the torch and beat the hell out of it with the sledgehammer to get it to go down there. What I plan on doing with the painting on the inside of here is, after I get the roll cage welded in, I am going to tape up that window right there on the inside. Well, after I power wash this whole thing inside, I'm going to tape up that window, and then I'm going to black spray paint the inside of this entire thing and the roll cage. I wouldn't actually mind having the roll cage the green color like the outside's going to be, since everything inside else is going to be black. But I'll have some small details that I'll make sure that are green to go with the flavor, I suppose, or whatever you want to call it. Like I'll get the green steering wheel like I did for Frankenstein. A green set of maybe fuzzy dice to hang from the windshield. I don't know what else yet, but you know, we'll see. Like if I end up getting myself a cup holder or something put in here or whatever, you know, I can make it green. But that's all for now. I'm gonna go ahead and close this off. I got the main hoop welded in, which means now I can fit the chair. And I just got to get the chair so it's securely mounted through the floorboard. I can't use the same bolts that's already in here because they're in the wrong place for that chair. I could use one bolt on one side, but then the rest of it doesn't line up. So I am going to have to get, and so I'm not going to use any of them, make them all even. And I will go ahead and get the hardware, the flat washers, grade 8 bolts, and some lock washers, and run the bolts straight through the floorboard and bolt them down nice and tight so it won't be going anywhere. And the other thing that I want to secure up is, see where I got them burnt spots where those welds are? I got the bolts that go through. That's just the loose nut on the left hand side of that burnt mark. That's not part of it. But way over there and right here and way over there is 2 bolts. And I want to get flat steel, like 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch, to lay between those 2 bolts on top so that it's more secure, so I have less flexibility. It'll stiffen it up. Do that on both sides here. And I got stuff in the way. But yeah, anyways, those 2 and those 2. Yeah, flat steel bars, lay across them, drill a hole through them, or 2 holes, 1 for each bolt, and drop the bolts back down through one at a time, and that way it'll just help stiffen it up. And I still got to get sheet metal for the back and the quarter panels, the rear quarter panels on each side. And I'm probably going to rivet that, since I suck at welding this thin metal more than I suck at welding thick metal. So yeah, I'll just get a rivet gun and some pop rivets and rivet that stuff in like that. And I'll probably rivet in the rear firewall right here that goes along this straight down. I'll probably rivet that in as well. And heck, I probably ought as well rivet all this thin metal stuff up in here. All these holes that I got to rivet up. But we're not too far from being able to do some painting on this thing. I'll be able to get this thing painted before I can build the motor. The motor is going to be a little bit off, unfortunately. I'm going to have to do a piece at a time. It's just really expensive to build those motors, and I had maxed out some credit cards that I got to get paid down before I can get those parts. Real life, real world, fellas. It's just how it is. Unfortunately, it's going to be a while. I'm hoping to have this car built by April of 2023, because that's when the drag track, local drag track, opens up here. So I got till then, and I really isn't that far off and think about everything that still has to be done. It's a roller with a main hoop, and that's it. Alright guys, you have a good night, and I'll see you next time.